Morning, guys. Just starting up here. We got news at 10 o'clock coming out, which is consumer sentiment as well as preliminary inflation expectations at 10 o'clock. So just getting started here, but most likely not actually going to take any trades until that news comes out. Give me just a second here to get rolling. So at the 9:30 open, we got this delivery, which on the 1 minute was, I'll say it was pretty efficient. I don't think it really made sense. Doesn't really need to make sense. Um, but the reason why I say it didn't really make sense is because we didn't really take out any liquidity before heading up there. We've got this here and this here, but I don't think this is necessarily um like major liquidity. I think it's pretty minor. But it does look like we are in a hurry to take out this liquidity here. So we've got this liquidity pool all right here. But I think this is what we're targeting. And considering we were just moving higher at the 9:30 open with no real reasoning behind it, not taking out liquidity before doing so, I think at the 10 o'clock open, we're probably going to rush to take this out. I don't really see anything else making too much sense. Like I don't see the 10 o'clock news um coming and then forcing us through this. It could, but I don't necessarily see that. I see the 10 o'clock news opening, we're dropping and taking us through this level here. And that's if we don't take it out beforehand, but I would think that we're waiting for the 10 o'clock news to take us through that. So the 15-second isn't very clean. The 1 minute over here, just gonna move this over a little bit. The 1 minute is clean enough. Like I don't necessarily think it's the cleanest, but it's clean enough. 15-second doesn't look great to me in terms of efficiency. Like it's clearly one-sided here, but it doesn't look great in terms of being able to take entries. So just zooming out here to see if we're going to take this out before 10 o'clock. I think if we do take this out before 10 o'clock, would make sense to hang around for a little bit and then want to race through this before the end of the day. So if we take this out at 10 o'clock, and we don't just continue speeding higher, I think we're going to get a pretty slow live stream today. I think if that happens and we don't start to rush higher, we'll hang out for a bit. So I think for the 10 o'clock news, when that drops, I'm going to move up to the 15-second so that we can keep an eye on this buy side liquidity here. And we want to see if price respects this. If price respects this midpoint, we could see I would think a shallow bearish delivery, but considering this delivery here, since pretty much yesterday, like we started down here, even lower than that. But considering this is a pretty darn bullish delivery, I don't really see why we would want to respect this. So I can see prices wasn't super efficient, but getting less efficient as we near that data release. So it looks like we're gonna go right through that. Didn't respect it. So I'm spending some time at yesterday's new day opening gap and just came down to the midpoint here. Left it. Let's see what that looks like on the 1 minute. Yeah, so pretty inefficient right now. It's getting worse as time passes. I'm not going to grade this either because I'm pretty sure we're not going to respect the midpoint. You can just tell by the way this is delivering. So we're about 3 minutes out. Um, Again, considering the delivery we've been in, looking for a price to take this out here. Dropping back down to the 1, or I'll drop down to the 15. Normally, when we're going to see bullish delivery on a data release, we'll take out sell side liquidity. So usually, let's say this one we think it's going to go higher, or it's going to go higher. Usually what would happen is we'll take out the sell side liquidity. So we'll take out the liquidity on this side of the marketplace with a wick and then start to shoot higher. Um, just based on the delivery that we're seeing so far this morning, I wouldn't be surprised to see it just go higher without wicking lower, especially if we take this out beforehand. But that's just my thinking. Obviously, we could go the other direction, but it's based on experience. It's my expectation. So on the 1 minute, we've got a order block here. Got one here on the 15-second as well. Just want to see how far we are from this. 682.75, 620.75. So we'd need about 12 handles to finish this delivery here. So about 30 seconds left. We just took this out here. Price does seem to be opening up a little bit now. Pretty tight and not efficient um, from here till about here. And it opened up since, so let's see if we can keep that after this delivery. Okay, so we did take out this sell side here. Didn't take out anything, let's see, in terms of buy side. I don't believe. Gonna have to, I'll jump up to the 5 minute because that'll probably give us the best look. We took out these relative equal highs, I guess. I want to see if this did trade into an order fair value gap here. So it gets a little tricky. Hmm. Down close candle here into this down close candle. So we either want to see this candle close up or we want to see something come down and close below this here. And that should be able to give us a an idea of where we're going. Hmm, taking that off. So I want to see if this remained above the midpoint of this one here. Or the close. I want to see if the close remained above the midpoint. $16.50. Yeah, so that might be a propulsion block here. It's a little iffy, but if this is going to be a propulsion block sending us higher, we want to see price stay above the low of this candle here. And now we're getting some not very clean price delivery, so I can't really tell which direction we're going. I'm going to need to see price either trade below this candle here or come down here and not and fail to come back above the 50% of this if we want to see lower. But I think if we want to see higher, this trading into here and remaining above the midpoint of this could send it higher. And let's see. To really trust higher, I'm going to need to see us trade above the midpoint of this here. So I'm actually going to go and grade that. 608. Open. 590. Yeah, so this gets sketchy. Would like to see a very big candle out of this one here. That would tell us that price is moving into efficiency. Okay, so the following one should also be displacement up, and that should tell us whether or not we are going to continue in a bullish delivery. For me personally, I want to see us trade through here and balance this price range here, so coming up to 612.25 for me to take a bullish position. And if I was to do that, I would initially target the high of this here So 632.75, but ultimately this high here, just 788. Well, 1978.75. Price is still moving pretty slowly in this area, so very much comfortable waiting for it to get above here, although it might look like the top of the range to you. That's not it's not near the liquidity that we'd be seeking. So so far this isn't what I wanted to see. Um, I mentioned at the start of the video if we didn't run higher to take out that high, buy side liquidity right here. I didn't want to see it go sideways. Like I figured it would either be we'd be taking this out or going sideways, and right now it's looking like more sideways. There are some opportunities in here on the smaller side, but I don't really enjoy that we're in between this range. I'd like to take something that's going to be leaving this range and going further. Either direction is fine, but I don't really want to take any entries while we're still inside this. So this is pretty similar to what we've been seeing this week in terms of price delivery. It's been super sloppy. I don't really care about this right here. because this here closed below this, and then we traded back through the midpoint of this. So I don't really care about this closing lower. This doing this tells me that we're still in some inefficient delivery. On the 1 minute, it looks like price is trying to close below here, so I'm not taking anything right now. I'm gonna wait to see what we do if we close below this. If we do close below this on the 1 minute over here, I want to see price quickly start to draw lower. And then on the 15-second, I want to see us close below this as well. Outside of that, I will be sitting on my hands still. So now, if we're going to trust that price is efficient, it needs to move lower very quickly. So the 1 minute seems to be of more use than the 15-second right now. Um, we have this fair value gap here that started the price run higher. Until price this, closes below this, I'm not trusting it going lower. And we see just now that on the 1 minute we closed below here, but we didn't rush lower. So that's kind of an indicator to me that we aren't going anywhere super quickly. Yeah. I'm gonna put that 1 minute fair value gap over here so that we have a visual representation of that. Hmm. I want to watch to see if this actually closes below this order block. Okay, not even grading that. So I have no interest in this till we can close below here on the 1 minute, or until we can trade through the midpoint of this on the 15-second. Until then, I'm content taking nothing because we will most likely be inside of this range until we see one of those two things. I want to see if we respect this, but still ultimately looking for a close below here on the one. So disrespected. It's just kind of been how price has been all week. You see things that with efficient pricing will give you an entry, but in inefficient pricing, when you see it, it most likely gets invalidated. And then that happens over and over and over. That's just been how this week has been. So we've come in here a lot on the 1 minute. Came down there on the data release. One, two, three times. Four, five, six, seven. We've traded in there 7 times. Just make sure there's nothing else occurring today. That's it for US events. So it looks like we're pretty close to closing below there. Got 10 seconds left. We're 89.75. Yeah, so I'm not taking that because we closed so lower, so much lower, so quickly. I'm not taking that sort of risk. I see if price treats this as an inverse fair value gap. No. Hmm. So we're all the way back in here and through that order block. This is nasty price. This is pretty much how it's been all week. Really nothing trustworthy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna close this one early. I think if nothing shakes out by 10:45 and we just stay in this inefficient delivery, I'm just gonna wrap it up. Yeah, it's just pretty heavily manipulated today. Been like this all week, but couldn't couldn't say why. No idea why. I don't think there were any big like news events on the horizon that would be keeping us like this. Okay, we got the Fed minutes on Wednesday, but I think that's way too far out to be affecting price this much. Could be a super high resistance sell side liquidity run, but that would mean that all the way up here is the initial order block, first presented order block. I don't know. I don't trust that this is going to move us lower. Normally it should, but I don't trust it with this price action. is super heavily manipulated right now. We shouldn't be moving this slowly if we have this order block formed here. Price should have been running at this point. Yeah, 10:30. I'm gonna close this up. We're just really stuck in this range. It seems pretty heavily manipulated. I'm not gonna trade this. Don't want to make you guys sit here either. Um, so hopefully you learned something, maybe just not to trade when prices like this. But anyway, I hope you guys have a good weekend. Good luck, good trading. Be safe.